I'm an only child. Do we have any other only children out here? Okay, a few. Yeah, we're kind of like an endangered species. My parents got divorced when I was young, and my mom and I went to move in with my grandparents for a little bit, and it was awesome. I mean, grandparents are amazing, right? Like, they've already gone through the responsibility of raising, like, these little idiots to full adults. So by the time they get to grandkids, they're like, okay, let's just screw it, have fun, throw away the rule book, and, like, give them whatever they want. And if they turn into total assholes, like, we're technically not responsible for them. So I had a ball with my grandparents, but I did turn into a bit of an old soul. I had my coffee in the morning with Grammy. I watched the evening news with Pop-Up. I learned the fundamentals of cooking and baking and history lessons about the Navy and how the Italians were responsible for anything good that happened in the world. I was 4 years old going on 40. And then God apparently was like, no, this is going too smoothly for you. We need to, shake this up a little bit. So my mom meets a man, and I get a sibling who, by the way, is sitting in this audience and probably thinking, oh, shit, where is this going? So I'm like, all right, I was kind of liking this only child thing, but, a sibling could be fun. I have a playmate. This could be fine. This enigma of a 16-year-old walks in the room, and immediately our age difference wasn't the only thing drastically different about us. I had long brown hair. She had bleached blonde with thick, crunchy bangs, a la 1994. I loved preschool. I loved learning new things. She barely went to school. She skipped so much class. And I loved dresses and dancing around to Frank Sinatra. And she preferred Nike Air Maxes and old school gangster rap. So we kind of looked at each other like, what do we do with this? Who's in charge here? Am I babysitting or are you? What's going on? I think my parents thought that by sticking me with her, it would kind of control her a little bit, and she would kind of have to slow down on those, fast style of life. But they were wrong. They were really wrong. She just strapped me in and took me along for the ride. And I mean that in the most literal form. She threw me in the back of her Chevy Blazer, the same one that was stolen when she left it running at a liquor store in North Philadelphia. But we got it back. The police found it. It was covered in chicken wings, but we did get it back. So she took me on all of her adventures, and these adventures had the soundtrack of the old school classics like Notorious B.I.G. and Foxy Brown and the Beastie Boys, and her favorite, the Wu-Tang Clan. I didn't really know what to make of this. I'm sitting in the back, my feet are barely covering the seat, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna be in trouble when I get home for even listening to this stuff. But eventually I started to like it, and then I started to repeat it. Grammy, you should really hear the stuff that they say about these boys. They're really bad. Oh yeah, honey, what do you mean? What do you hear? Well, like, he's a hoe, he's a freak, he's got a different girl every day of the week. Okay, I know, it's some shit, Grammy. I took a particular liking to Naughty by Nature's Feel Me Flow, and I asked my grandfather for the cassette tape for my birthday, and the dear man, he got it for me. Which was ridiculous in its own right, but I can only imagine the face of the employee at The Wall, remember that store? When a silver-haired white man came up to him and said, "Excuse me, can you tell me what section I can find Naughty by Nature?" I also really liked, now remind you, I'm 5 at the time, I really liked Old Dirty Bastards, Oh Baby, I Like It Raw. And I learned on my little piano how to play the opening chords, and I became the centerpiece to all of my sister's parties. She would wake me up in the middle of the night and bring me downstairs so I could, show all of her friends my new talent, and then she'd send me on my way. But having a sibling wasn't exactly what either of us thought, but we learned to love each other, and we learned to, share these things together. And I especially now like the face that I get from people when like one of those old school songs comes on. I'm like, oh, I love this song. I remember when this album came out. And they look at me, they're like, you were 6. I'm like, yeah, I know. And my sister and I jammed out to it together. So her and I are super close now, and I love that we have these memories. And who knew that old school rap could bond a family? Thank you.